it's not that he's afraid. That's not what he really means. He's saying it that way, but that's not what that is. What that is that anytime a fight is announced, you become fearful of the unknown. You become fearful of what could happen. That happens right away.
See how hard he hits, Mike. I really want to see, bro. Let's see all the legends, the myths, because you're Iron Mike Tyson, but I have an iron chin.
Jake Paul has mocked Mike Tyson for his remarks about being scared to death ahead of their upcoming fight. While the buzz surrounding the impending clash is undeniable, there's a notable divide in opinions. Adding to the discourse, Shakur Stevenson recently shared his perspective on the matter. Speaking to Ellie Seckbach, Stevenson reacted to the upcoming fight, claiming, "I don't know, that's going to be weird. I am a Jake Paul fan. I love what Jake Paul is doing for the sport of boxing and his fighters, what he does behind the scenes." However, Stevenson doesn't want to see Mike Tyson return to the ring. But why? When Ellie Seckbach questioned Stevenson about this, he found himself voicing apprehensions about the ex-heavyweight champion. Stevenson admitted to comprehending Tyson's desire to step into the ring, yet as a devoted supporter of Tyson, he finds himself unable to bear witness to the bout. He said, "I am not a supporter of that. I think Mike's kinda older in his career. He wants to make some money, but I don't want to see that. I don't like seeing that. I am a big Mike Tyson fan too, so I don't want to watch that." When Mike stepped into the squared ring last, it was opposite Roy Jones Jr. back in November 2020 for an exhibition match. Therefore, who could offer a more vivid portrayal of what it's like to face Tyson's punches in his retirement? In conversation with Mirror Fighting, Roy Jones Jr. asserted that it would be no simple feat for Paul to emerge victorious in the bout. Jones Jr. said, "When I boxed him, he still punched like Mike Tyson. If he hits anybody square on the chin, it's going to be problematic. I don't care who it is. I like Jake Paul. He's a good guy and he's doing good with his boxing stuff." Furthermore, Jones proposed that from a promotional angle, the bout holds significant potential for generating substantial revenue, implying that both contenders stand to profit significantly from the event. Similarly, UFC icon Cowboy Cerrone presents a contrasting viewpoint, exuding certainty that Tyson will emerge victorious in the bout. He made a point of noting the circulating videos featuring an 18-year-old Tyson and Paul on the internet.
I hope he gets back to "I'll eat your children." I hope he gets crazy like that.
Still Mike Tyson.
Have you seen the videos of Tyson at 18 and Jake Paul at 18?
Dude.
He's like singing and skipping and doing some Disney show, and Tyson's just world champion killing everybody.
Cerrone said that he had seen the videos of Tyson and Jake Paul, and he mentioned that Paul was singing, skipping, and doing some Disney shows when he was 18, while Tyson was a world champion killing everybody. Despite confessing to Sean Hannity that he harbored deep-seated fears ahead of the match, Tyson's training footage tells a different story, depicting a resolute and confident fighter ready to take on any challenge. In the same conversation with Cerrone, Dale Brisby then added that Tyson would have that impactful first walkout. He mentioned that Jake Paul would probably wonder how it would go.
The thing that Tyson's gonna have in his corner, pun intended, is just that first walkout. Because you know Jake Paul's gonna be like, "Man, how is this gonna go? I've been in 9 fights. How is this about to go?"
However, Cerrone responded that Mike Tyson would not be thinking that. He dramatically emphasized that nobody throws a punch quite like Tyson. The topic of their age gap arose, prompting Cerrone to humorously suggest that Paul might have honed his skills playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out as a child. Cerrone staunchly supports Tyson and exudes confidence that Iron Mike will triumph over the problem child.
Nobody hits like Tyson.
And then Mike Tyson is not going to be thinking that.
Bro, Jake Paul played Mike Tyson Punch-Out when he was a kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you got to fight Tyson.
Yeah.
And that motherfucker just wabach.
In recent updates, Tyson has exhibited an unshakable assurance regarding the upcoming bout. Despite his 58 years, he remains resolute and prepared to face off against the youthful 27-year-old Paul. Tyson remains resilient and keen to address critics who admonish his decision to fight at this stage of his life. However, he emphasizes that these critics overlook a crucial factor in their assessments. In an interview with Reuters, Tyson explained, "I'm 58, and what? I'm getting billions of views from just talking to somebody about fighting. Everybody, even most of the athletes, they're jealous. That's whack. I say in your prime, you couldn't draw 1 million people, man. What are you talking about? You couldn't sell out an arena. Who at 58 could sell out an 80,000-seat arena?" Paul has secured victories in his last 2 matches, both against lesser-known professional boxers. Dana White, the CEO of UFC, has hinted that Paul might require Tyson's presence to boost sales, a notion echoed by Tyson himself. However, Tyson said, "Why do you think he wants to fight me and not anybody else? Everybody wants to fight him. All the boxers want to fight him, but if he fought them, the only people that will come are the people that like him. The other guys, their parents might not even come to watch them. That's just keeping it real. They're too boring for their children to watch. It's like watching grass grow. In a recent interview, Jake Paul's ex-coach BJ Flores shared his thoughts on Paul's upcoming fight with Mike Tyson. He said that if he were still training Paul for the fight against Tyson, he would focus on making sure Jake stays on the outside. Flores emphasized that despite Tyson being 57 years old, he is not a typical 57-year-old. According to Flores, Tyson has a remarkable physique and likely uses TRT, anti-aging treatments, and other methods to stay in top shape.
I try to make sure he stays on the outside. I don't care what anybody says. Mike at 57 is not a normal 57-year-old at all. He was the baddest man on the planet, and for sure 100% on TRT, anti-aging, all kinds of stuff to make sure. I've never seen a 57-year-old body with a body like Mike ever in my life.
Flores pointed out that while people talk about Tyson's age, they often overlook the potential blood work and treatments Tyson might be using, making him a dangerous opponent due to his strength and explosive power. Flores believes that Tyson will be especially dangerous in the first few rounds of the fight, as Jake has never faced someone as big, strong, and skilled on the inside as Tyson.
A credit to him. That's a credit to his, testament to, continue to stay in shape, to work out, and then probably for sure other science that TRT and what other older men are using to stay strong. So people talk about his age, but people don't talk about the blood work that Mike Tyson probably has, and that's something that's very dangerous for anybody, because he's still got the body of a very strong man.
When asked about how he sees the fight going, Flores admitted it's difficult to predict. He thinks Tyson will be a significant challenge for Jake due to the new obstacles Jake will face. Flores suggested that if he were Jake, he would aim to get Tyson into the middle to later rounds of the fight, as Tyson's early round power could be particularly dangerous.
I don't know. I think he's dangerous, very dangerous first few rounds. Jake's never fought anybody that big, that strong, and for sure not that could fight that well on the inside, not even close. So there's a lot of new obstacles that Jake's got to be prepared for.
Flores stressed the importance of range and keeping Tyson at a distance to avoid his powerful body and headshots. He believes that maintaining distance is more crucial than having a defensive posture. When asked directly if Jake Paul could beat Tyson, Flores expressed his hope that Jake could pull off a victory. However, he acknowledged that it would be equally impressive if Tyson won, given his legendary status in the boxing world.
And I think it's going to be one of those situations where, you give Mike 4 months to get ready for anything, and and he's taken this very seriously. Obviously, in the training videos, it's going to be difficult for anybody, in the first couple rounds. If I'm Jake, I'm going to try to get him to the middle, to the later rounds, and do the most of my work then, because in the beginning, it's very dangerous for Jake.
Do you think Jake Paul beats him?
I hope so. I hope he does. I think it'd be crazy if he did.
Flores concluded by saying that while he would like Jake to win, Tyson's status as a respected and beloved figure in boxing would make him the favorite among fans. Flores believes that the fight will be intriguing to watch, especially to see if Tyson can handle Jake in the middle or later rounds, should the fight go that far.
Like, nobody wants to go against Uncle Mike. Mike is he's like family to everybody, and everyone knows him, and just how he's evolved as a human being over the last 20 years it's been really nice to watch. So I think, Mike will definitely, be the favorite as far as people wanting him to win, but whether he's able to, deal with Jake in the middle or later rounds, if they get that far, that'll be interesting.
Sakio Bika, the ex-WBC super middleweight title holder, is advocating for Jake Paul to square off against him rather than Mike Tyson amid ongoing uncertainties surrounding the bout's viability. Bika extended an invitation to the YouTuber for a fight amidst uncertainties surrounding Tyson's eligibility. The offer comes with the condition that Tyson must obtain medical clearance before the bout. Bika said, "I have reached the top of the sport, becoming a multiple-time world champion and winning the prestigious Contender Series. I have nothing more to prove to anyone, but I would like to have one more big fight. If someone like Jake Paul or his brother would really like to test himself against a recent world champion, I am always ready to fight." Bika confessed his childhood admiration for Tyson, yet he believes Paul should spar with opponents of similar experience. Nonetheless, he admires Tyson's determination to maintain his fitness. Bika said, "Mike Tyson is an all-time great boxer. He was a hero of mine growing up, and even though he looks in great shape, he is almost 60 years of age. If Jake Paul is serious about fighting a former champion, look for someone a lot younger or active within the last decade. I can fight Jake Paul at any weight he wants." Asked what he makes of the current YouTuber situation in boxing, Bika replied, "It is both good and bad. It is bringing a lot more attention to the sport, but with most of the YouTubers either fighting each other or trying to entice long-retired greats out of retirement, it turns it into a joke." Despite these limitations potentially hindering his preparation for the Texas bout, Tyson appears to be fully committed, sparing no effort. During an interview with Fox News, Tyson detailed the rigorous training regimen he's implemented.
Air how old Mike Tyson is, because to me, one shot, to your point, to the opponent's jaw, and it is lights out. So are you worried for Jake Paul's safety in this fight?
It's fascinating to witness the unwavering drive displayed by the iconic fighter as the bout approaches. While many fighters of his stature might opt for a life of leisure in retirement, he remains fiercely committed to stepping back into the ring. He's not oblivious to the dangers. He's heard all the warnings loud and clear. Still, he persists. What thoughts are consuming his mind at this moment?
I am worried for his safety, and I am very glad to hear that they may be wearing headgear, because that will help a little bit. It won't help a lot.
Tyson openly acknowledged his apprehension regarding the upcoming fight night. However, he emphasized that this fear is intrinsic to his character, asserting that it serves as a catalyst for his optimal preparation.
Paul, I don't think many people tie Mike Tyson's name to the feeling of fear.
Well, here's the thing. It's not that he's afraid. That's not what he really means. He's saying it that way, but that's not what that is. What that is that anytime a fight is announced, you become fearful of the unknown.
Tyson believes that adversity and nervousness have always propelled him to success. He mentioned that if he didn't have these feelings, he wouldn't participate in the fight. According to Tyson, he needs these emotions to step into the ring. Otherwise, he would never do it.
You become fearful of what could happen. That happens right away. But like he said, as those days get closer, we become immune to that feeling.
It's hardly unexpected that Tyson, grappling with mobility challenges of late, is apprehensive about facing the American fighter. Yet, he maintains that this is simply a necessary step in the lead-up to the fight.
And in reality, I'm invincible.
What do you think about that? He said he was afraid to fight you. He's afraid to fight Jake Paul.
Footage captured during Tyson's rigorous training regimen has surfaced across social media platforms, aimed at debunking speculations suggesting potential difficulties in his upcoming bout against Paul. Despite Paul boasting a formidable 9-1 boxing record, these videos serve as a testament to Tyson's preparation and readiness for the challenge ahead. Paul's response to the video snippets hinted at a hint of apprehension towards the looming challenge from his adversary. Tyson's vigorous training regimen appeared to have him primed and ready for the upcoming bout, adding an extra layer of intensity to the anticipation.
Footage, but it's pretty absurd. I still think we're kind of grazing over his age. I think we should touch on that a little bit more. But this is him at 57.
Yeah, this is what I watched before I made the parlay that he was knocking you out.
So you have a parlay in...
Wait, no. What?
The Audible... Let me see this.
Babe, but what if he knocks you out?
Ooh. Stepping into the fray is Roy Jones Jr., once Tyson's adversary in their 2020 exhibition bout, offering his perspective. Jones delves into the essence of Tyson's fear, proposing that it's rooted more in anticipation than genuine dread. Might this fear serve as Tyson's clandestine advantage, or will it become a chink in his armor for Paul to exploit? The interviewer of Fox News posed a thought-provoking question to Roy Jones Jr. So Roy, Mike Tyson was on with Hannity last night. He mentioned his fight with you, but he also said something surprising about being afraid. Take a listen to this. This introduction set the stage for Tyson's own words to resonate profoundly. But then Roy explained what he thinks of the upcoming fight.
Of his experience, Mike Tyson is still one of the most devastating people on the planet. He's still the person that everything will stop to see what he does. So when he fights, everything else stops, and people pay attention to the television to see what Mike does. He's still strong as ever. He's still as elusive as ever. So for me, it's going to be tough for Jake to hit him. And Jake's a pretty good puncher. Don't make a mistake about it. He has a few pretty good knockouts on his resume himself. But it's going to be very difficult to put a glove on Mike Tyson's chin.
Effortlessly, the dialogue transitioned from a mere inquiry to a revealing confession, uncovering a facet of Tyson that was frequently concealed behind his intimidating demeanor. Following Tyson's unexpected disclosure, the interviewer shifted focus, seeking Jones Jr.'s perspective on this revelation. What do you think about that? He said he was afraid to fight you. He's afraid to fight Jake Paul. I don't think many people tie Mike Tyson's name to the feeling of fear, the interviewer inquired, prompting a deeper exploration into the nature of fear in boxing. Roy Jones Jr. responded with understanding and clarity. Here's the thing. It's not that he's afraid. That's not what he really means. He's saying it that way, but that's not what that is. What that is, anytime a fight is announced, you become fearful of the unknown. You become fearful of what could happen. That happens right away. Roy added that, as Tyson mentioned, as the fight date approaches, boxers often become immune to those initial feelings of fear or nervousness. Roy described this as a typical experience for boxers as they prepare for a fight.
Like he said, as those days get closer, we become immune to that feeling. Now it's like, can you please hurry up and get him in front of me so I can show y'all that that's not gonna happen? So that's just kind of what a boxer goes through. That's the difference to me.
Moreover, Roy added that, in his opinion, there's a difference between old school boxers and new school boxers. Old school boxers were not afraid to acknowledge or accept their fears openly. However, as the fight date approaches and preparation intensifies, that fear tends to diminish.
Me and old school boxers and new school boxers. Old school boxers were not afraid to mention or to accept the fact that, yeah, fear comes in your heart right away when you do it, when you first sign it, but as the fight gets closer, preparation runs that fear away.
Tyson's frank confession, combined with Jones's perceptive analysis, underscores a deep-seated reality within the realm of boxing. Confronting one's fears isn't indicative of frailty, but rather a display of fortitude. In the same interview with Fox News, the dialogue opened with warmth. They quickly delved into Roy Jones Jr.'s past encounter with Mike Tyson.
Any chance we see you and Iron Mike back in the ring, lacing them up against each other one more time?
We do not have
and
time
we just lost
left.
It's like me and Mike both said. It's like me and Mike both said. Fear is what drives us. When something is fearful for us, we take it. So anytime you go in the ring with Mike Tyson, it's a fearful thought at first. So of course, if they came in and say, "Hey, Mike wants to do it again," am I gonna say no? My conscience will not allow me to.
Yep.
Now we know that Tyson explicitly stated that the upcoming bout would be an exhibition, not a professional fight. Despite this assertion, Tyson underscored that the match would adhere to traditional boxing regulations. Consequently, when Michael Benson circulated this news on social media today, fans breathed a collective sigh of relief. Turning to X, Benson wrote, "Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson on July 20th is now confirmed to be an exhibition bout and will not be officially sanctioned as a pro fight," Tyson has confirmed. However, he said the exhibition will be contested under standard boxing rules. This is a fight. Amidst the fervent buzz encircling the impending showdown between Paul and Tyson, Benson's tweet swiftly ignited a storm across social media platforms, garnering a plethora of comments. Among them, one user said, "Embarrassing from Jake and his time to try and pro-sanction this in the first place. He's 63. Mock JJ for fighting exhibitions? Now doing one himself? Against a guy who is old enough for free bus passes?" A different individual proposed that Jake Paul made a critical error in accepting the fight, as either outcome could tarnish his reputation. Should he emerge victorious, critics might dismiss his achievement as defeating an elderly opponent. Conversely, if he suffers defeat, detractors could mock him for being bested by an older adversary. The user wrote, "Such a waste of time, man. I have no idea why Jake took this fight besides the money. It's literally a lose-lose-lose-lose situation for him. He didn't think this one through." Another individual savored the auspicious announcement, asserting that regulatory bodies retain a modicum of rationality to prevent the occurrence of such a bout in the realm of professional boxing. This user said, "So there is still common sense in boxing. I was worried for a minute." The subsequent commentator pointed out that Paul's initiative to have the bout approved as a professional boxing spectacle was the most cringeworthy aspect of the entire ordeal. The fan said, "The fact that Jake Paul and his team tried to push this fight for pro-sanctioning is the most embarrassing thing about this. Although many appear pleased with the exhibition status of the bout, it remains imperative to acknowledge Jake Paul and Mike Tyson's serious approach to the fight, treating it akin to a professional match. Hence, fans' concerns retain validity. Tyson is susceptible to defeat or, worse yet, sustaining significant injury." One individual emphasized that even the boxing regulatory body, which they described as questionable, would never authorize a match featuring a 58-year-old contender. They said, "No surprise, even the dodgy commissions were never going to sanction a 58-year-old. Meanwhile, Mike Tyson received a stern cautionary note note. Jake Paul, the up-and-coming boxer, is primed to flatten him, following an unexpected punch to Tyson's face while assisting a fan with pad work. A video of Tyson holding pads for fans went viral earlier this week when he unexpectedly took a blow to the face. One comment on the video read, "Paul is going to knock him out easily and I hate Paul." Another user added, "Yeah, buddy, that is the one fella you do not want to rile up." On the other hand, Jake Paul has sent a chilling warning to Mike Tyson and made a huge threat for the July 20th clash. Entering the ring to face one of boxing's legends, Paul exudes an air of confidence despite the daunting challenge ahead. He's been drumming up excitement for the bout across social platforms, delivering a bold challenge directly to Tyson via Instagram. The YouTuber turned pugilist showcased his rigorous training regimen in the footage, but it was the daring caption accompanying his Instagram post that truly made an impact. Paul wrote, "I'm gonna bite your ear off, Mikey," clearly referencing Tyson's infamous bite on Evander Holyfield in 1997. After Paul's comedic skit involving ear biting, he went even further by recreating Tyson's famous photo alongside his pet tiger.
Psych! You really thought I was partying? We out here, high altitude, Colorado Springs, with the Olympians Team USA Boxing. Let's get it. Let's go. I'm coming for you, Mike.
Tyson has been consistently sharing his own content, but recently, on Snapchat, he uploaded a photo of himself undergoing intense training, accompanied by the caption, "Everyone has a plan, till they..." This reference harks back to one of his iconic quotes reflecting on the unpredictability of getting hit in the face. He also shared a snap of him hitting the pads with trainer Rafael Cordero with the text, "All eyes on me." Cordero has predicted that Paul will feel Tyson's heavy hands, but the 27-year-old sounds like he welcomes it. However, Paul said on his BS podcast, "Mike, I really want to see, bro. Let's see all the legends, the myths, because you're Iron Mike Tyson, but I have an iron chin. People know that. I take shots." Jake Paul commented that he believes people are underestimating his ability to handle Mike Tyson's power, which he thinks will make the fight interesting. He acknowledged that he is taking on a significant challenge and views Tyson as his toughest and most formidable opponent, regardless of age. Paul emphasized that power is the last thing to diminish in a fighter, making Tyson a lethal adversary. Jake Paul added, "I think people are underestimating me being able to deal with his power, and that's something that's going to make it interesting. I am biting off a lot. This is definitely the toughest, most savage, lethal opponent regardless of age, because power is the last thing to go." Overall, the upcoming fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson is undeniably generating significant buzz and anticipation. Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.